this idea, well, you know what, if what you're looking for doesn't exist, you should create it. And so I did. And so the idea of empowering women in real estate came to me, and I bought empoweringwomeninrealestate.com. Didn't do anything with it for 5 years. That was never the intention when I started, but I wanted community. And so I created this community, and now we have grown to be more than 40,000 women in the real estate industry.
Karen, thank you so much for coming on the show. Listen, you're a force to be reckoned with. I've known your name for a long time, but I think this is the first time we've ever chatted in person.
It is, and you're so kind, and I was happy to see you in person today and to be able to have this conversation with you.
Absolutely. So you have a very successful team, the Platinum Group, but you've kind of leveraged that potentially into other things. I know you came out with a book, and you have a community you've created with many thousands of people, women in leadership. Tell me how this all started. How'd you get into real estate? Yeah, I'd love to hear your story.
Gosh. Yeah, it's such a story. So I don't know how much time you have for this today,
we got a lot. Go ahead.
So I started in real estate 23 years ago, and I usually say that I kind of got into the business by accident, but really, of course, we know that there are no accidents, right? So I was getting laid off from a career that I had in the pharmaceutical industry. I was not in sales. At my last job, I was doing project management for patient registry. So I was always very organizational, research-minded operations kind of work. And I was getting laid off, and it was my second or third layoff. And my husband and I just happened to be buying and selling a home for sale by owner. And I said, so my choices were this: I could relocate to New Jersey. I had a job offer. Or I could stay, where I live. And literally my family has been here for almost 300 years. So leaving my little town of Lovettsville, Virginia, did not feel right. So I was like, okay, I got to find something else. How about that real estate thing? I was the one, we're doing the for sale by owners, and I'm the one who's, presenting the contracts and, showing everybody what to do. And I'd never done it myself. And so that's how I started. I started with Sherry Wilson. I started on her team, a very traditional Rainmaker team. We were at Remax 23 years ago, and I've kind of held every role there is to hold. I was on a Rainmaker team. I've been a solo agent. I've been a managing broker. And then, of course, now I've been a team leader for the last 10 and a half years.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So now in that situation, you were going to buy that house, a for sale by owner. Is that correct? And
yes.
And did you have your license at that time? Or you're like, hey,
No.
I'm going to get my license, get this commission. I've started a new career.
No, we had actually closed on it.
We had
closed on that house. My husband and I were engaged at the time, and his parents' neighbor, which, we only lived next door to my in-laws for 2 years. So lesson learned, right? Lovely people, but you don't live next to your in-laws. And but the neighbors, they called and they're like, hey, we know you guys are getting married. We're going to sell our house. Are you interested? And we were like, sure, great opportunity. And so that's how so it was 2 months after that happened that I got my license.
Very cool. You mentioned you started at Remax.
Yeah.
I believe you're at a new brokerage now. I think you were at another one in between there. What's your take on the brokerage world these days? The recent acquisition of Compass, buying a lot of, the companies. How do you look at the brokerages currently and that world?
Yeah.
How important is the brokerage to you?
Yeah, gosh, so many things that you said right there. I've only been in a couple of brokerages in my career. It's like the 7-year itch. Wasn't that like a Marilyn Monroe movie, right? So I tend to spend about 7 years somewhere is where it averages out. So I was at Remax for about 6.5 years. I was at Century 21 for about 6.5 years. We were with a local, just a regional independent brokerage for about 7 years. And then now I've been with Real Brokerage, which is a cloud-based brokerage. So I've kind of had that mix, right, of the very traditional franchise brokerage, the independent model, and then now with the cloud-based. And it's fascinating to see what's happening in our industry. As a team leader, we have felt the crush of the commission compression that happens. Agents feel the commission compression, but team leaders feel the commission compression, not necessarily in terms of what the clients are willing to pay, but what agents are willing to pay to be on your team. And now that has really expanded on a brokerage level, right? And so for brokerages, it's even harder. So much of what you need, you can get anywhere on your own. And so I think the role of the brokerage is different now for agents. I was having a conversation with someone earlier today, and I said, look, I just kind of need my brokerage to leave me alone. I've been doing this for a long time. I know what I just want to do my business. And I don't necessarily need a lot of interference. I don't want a lot of interference. And I don't know. I think there's a lot of people out there like that.
I think it makes a lot of sense. So we're in the title world, so I don't know your world as well. But
Yeah.
from an outside standpoint, I actually bought the real stock because
Mhm.
what I like about it is that, if you think about Compass or some of these other people, Remax, whoever, they have a lot of money they're spending on office space. They have massive
Yes.
contracts. They're spending many,
Yes.
many millions a year. So as an agent who's looking for to make as much money as possible, like I'd
Yep.
rather you not have an office. I can do this
Totally.
from my house. I can go to
Yep.
I'll even go pay for a WeWork on my own if I really want to get out of the house. And
Yep.
that money can then be redistributed to whether it's
Yep.
stock or downline or profit shares. And at the end of the day, money in the pocket matters. And so from
Yes.
that simplistic mindset, I was like, you know what? I like what they're doing. They have good marketing and it's done very well, by
Yeah.
the way. So
Thank you.
I think Real is going to have a really good run next year. I think we're
Thank
finally
you.
going to see lower rates after 4 years of pain and suffering in this industry, and it's
Let's
going to
hope.
open up a lot of options for the real estate industry, including the brokerages and other people.
Yeah. Well, you're so spot on about that whole office space thing because, especially when we first made the move, that tends to be a hurdle that a lot of agents have immediately. I was like, well, I need an office. But when you ask agents, well, how often do you go into your office? It's like people just kind of
Yeah,
want to know that it's there. They don't, but then they don't want to pay for it. So,
yeah.
so yeah, it's very interesting. Our world has changed dramatically, and our world, our industry, and that's just going to continue to happen.
No, it makes a lot of sense. So when did how did you get into the other careers, whether it be the book or, the community you've
Yeah.
created? Kind of what
Yes.
were the steps to go from there to there?
Yeah. So it was about 11 and a half years ago. I was in a managing broker role and I was feeling very lonely in my business, in my career. When you're the managing broker in an office, your agents, nobody really wants to talk to you, right? The agents in your office only want to talk to you when they have a problem. And of course, I dealt with plenty of problems. And the agents outside your brokerage don't really want to talk to you because they're afraid you're just going to try to recruit them. And so I found myself in this role just feeling like it just didn't feel right. And I was just feeling very just kind of lost, depressed,
Yeah.
just not in a good spot. And I just had this shower idea one day. And I was thinking about community. And I was just really craving, back then, this was 11 and a half years ago,
Yeah.
there weren't a lot of big Facebook groups. Right now, there's a Facebook group for everything. And I had this idea, well, you know what? If what you're looking for doesn't exist, you should create it. And so I did. And so the idea of empowering women in real estate came to me. It first kind of, came to my mind. The idea was just starting this local Facebook community. That was really where it was going to start. But, I had this little God moment and I had this thought of, but you know what, you should buy the domain name too. And I did. I bought empoweringwomeninrealestate.com. Didn't do anything with it for 5 years. That was never the intention when I started, but I wanted community. And so I created this community and now we have grown to be more than 40,000 women in the real estate industry all across the country. We have monthly meetups that gather in 30 some cities. I wrote a book. We
Yeah.
have our big annual conferences next week.
Awesome.
It has been literally the surprise and delight of my life.
What does membership look like? And are there
Yeah.
different levels of membership? And
Yeah.
where's the conference at?
Yeah, so the conference is in Ashburn, Virginia.
Cool.
So we have about 160 women coming in. Our furthest away guest, I always get really excited about that, is coming
Yeah.
from Alaska.
There you go.
So
Nice.
that is really cool. This is our 5th year doing a big conference.
Awesome.
Um, as far as membership levels, like it's open to everyone. It's a free community for
Yeah.
everyone. We do have an inner circle, which is a group coaching program, which we do have a few hundred women that are a part of that. That is a paid program. All that's on our website. But really, it's about the community. I mean, I started this. It's kind of been my therapy in a lot of ways for years. It had literally for 11 years. It has been the first thing I do every morning. I get my coffee. I let my dogs out. I get my coffee. I sit down, and I write in this group. And I have done that, 5 to 7 days a week for 11 and a half years.
Nice.
And it's
So the
amazing.
interaction, I mean, just continuous interaction in the group, back and forth, people solving problems. Is
Yes.
that Yeah.
Yeah. The whole idea is we're anti-drama. I think anybody who's on Facebook these days, you see the drama.
Mhm.
The Facebook groups tend to be full of drama. We don't tolerate any drama, and we promote ourselves as being a safe space for women in real estate to share things that are bothering them, venting, questions, problems, all of that.
Cool. And not just real estate agents, and can we have loan officers,
Oh
title
yeah.
companies,
Oh yeah.
everyone? Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
yeah, we
cool.
have some ladies from your company. I know Kat's in the
Yep.
group. And yeah, it's open to any women that are in the real estate industry. So we've got title executives, we've got loan officers, we've got, stagers, transaction coordinators, all that.
Where do you see the long-term vision of the group going?
Gosh, that's a great question that I don't know that anybody's ever asked me that question. I usually, it's just more, right? More of the
Yeah,
same. Like, I feel like we have a good thing. And 40,000 sounds like a lot, and it is a lot.
it
That's a
is.
lot.
It
That's a
is.
lot of
Yeah.
people, right? But there's a whole lot more that don't know about our community, that are not
Right.
part of our community. And so I just really have a heart and a passion to help other women to grow their businesses without sacrificing their quality of life. When I was coming up in my career, I raised three sons, and I'm a busy agent. I've got three young kids, and it's hard. And there weren't a lot of mentors
Mhm.
who would that I had, that I could see, that were driven, that wanted to build a business like I did, but also did not want to, hate their life and never see their kids. And so I'm really passionate about showing and demonstrating to other women what's possible.
I hear a lot of times people are like, quality of life, it's a myth, it's not possible. What's your take on that? I mean, I have three kids. How many kids do you have?
I have three boys.
Right. So, like, what's your take on that? I mean, you've obviously
Yeah.
been extremely successful. It takes a ton of time. You're doing lots of things.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Well, I think that's a big lie. And I think it's a lie that we tell ourselves because we are afraid to have the courage to pursue our lives and our businesses in the way that we want. And this is really something that I've been very passionate about, especially the last couple of years. I'm 52, so I'm squarely in that midlife time. And I think a lot of women in the real estate industry are also in that category,
Mhm.
right? And there's no path for us in this business in terms of, it's like you sell your last house and then you're done.
Yeah.
And I don't think it should be that way. We've worked too hard. I've been at this for more than 2 decades, and so there are other ways to structure your business. There's other ways to pursue what you want. I don't take appointments before 10:30 in the morning. I don't serve clients myself anymore. I prospect every week. I generate a ton of business, but I refer it all out to be served by my team.
Right.
I spend about 80% of my time now, and this was hard fought. It's not like I just
Right.
made this decision and got here. But now I spend about 80% of my time doing the things that I enjoy and love the most. I love a slow, luxurious morning. I like to take a long walk with my dog. I like to play golf with my husband and my sons, and you can do those things. It's all a matter of choices, and I think a lot of agents choose the paycheck,
Yep.
and I love the paycheck. Don't get me wrong, over enjoying their life, and they just
Mhm.
need to be more open and think more creatively about how to still have the paycheck, but also to live and enjoy your life.
I'm 100% in agreement with you. I've recently met a builder, and he's like, I have this title company. I'm partnered with them, and like she's so busy, I can't even like get her on the phone. I want to expand, but I can't. And I'm like, I get it. I mean, she's in the weeds. She's doing a ton of work, but you have to build a team. You have to build a team to do things. And yeah, you're
Yes,
not going to make as much money at first, but eventually, if you do structure that, you can make more money, right?
you make
And
more.
you can make
Yes,
more money. You can do the things you want to do in life. Yeah, we have
yes,
a rule here. I love golf also, and so
yeah,
we golf with clients every Friday afternoon. It's on the
I love
calendar.
it.
It never changes.
Yeah,
Yes, Fridays are busy in our world, but we have
mhm,
65 employees and we have great
yep,
people and they can solve problems and we're there to answer questions if we need to. But like, that's important to us because I have three kids.
yeah.
I'm not allowed to golf on the weekends. So, I once a week. Now, some
Yeah.
say I sneak out more than once a week. That's between me and you. But I agree with you completely. And it's systems, putting it in place. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
going to be some tough times to a degree, but if you continue to
Yeah.
think about it, get creative, you can create that
Yeah.
life. I'm in agreement.
Well, our ego and fear are the two things I think that hold us back from that, right? Because in one way, there's our ego telling us that our clients only want to work with us. Nobody can do it as good as me, and so that keeps us kind of stuck and small. But really, it comes from fear because there's the fear of well, if I let go of this, I'm not going to have that. But when you let go, you open up so many other opportunities for yourself. I mean, when I think about what my business looks like now and the number of income streams that I have and the number of things that I've been able to do compared to what my business looked like, 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, it's astonishing. And there's so many agents I know that are still living the same year 20 years in real estate than they did in the first year. And that's kind of sad to me.
Yeah, and no, it makes sense. I mean, one thing that's tough about real estate and real estate teams is in many industries, you might have a sellable asset that one day you can get
Yep.
value from, and it's hard to do that in real estate. It is
Yes.
possible, but it's harder. And so, what was your motivation as you were trying to figure out? Was it like I want to not just show houses 7 days a week? I want to one day have something that can produce revenue when I'm not out there doing it all over. Was there a
Yeah.
multiple motivations for you?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think like with a lot of things that happen to us in life, and I know for me, I had to be pushed and made very, very uncomfortable to make a decision that I probably should have made years previous. I'd
Yep.
gone through some significant health issues, and I was at a really difficult point in my life. I was
Yep.
taking care of my father. My mother had passed away, dealing with things with him, significant health issues with myself, 10 surgeries, I had 30 radiation treatments, just
Man.
a lot of things happening, taking care of my mother-in-law and trying to sell 65 to 70 homes a year.
Yeah.
And I was literally killing myself.
Yeah.
And so I was having a conversation with my business partner and my mentor, and we kind of made this decision that okay, I'm going to step back from serving the clients myself. I'm still going to generate the business. And I'll be honest, when I first did that, I didn't think I could do that long term. I thought, based on my experience I had when I was a managing broker, right? Because I wasn't allowed to sell. And within 2 years, my business basically disappeared because I wasn't in front of people. I wasn't marketing. I wasn't prospecting. And I thought, well, you know what? I'll do this for a year or two. I'll refer my business to the team. And then my business will just be gone and I'll just focus on the team. But really, here we are almost 6 years and I generate 15 to 20 million in sales volume every year. And that's a really good healthy business. And
Yeah.
so it's I was pushed to the point of being so uncomfortable that I had to think differently.
Mhm.
And it's one of the best things I've ever done.
No, it's not many people actually do it. So the fact that you did it,
Correct.
very impressive. And I mean, look back now at your career, you've got the book, you've got the community, you've got this. I mean, the world's your oyster. I'm impressed. It's good work.
Thank you.
How large is the team now? How many agents? How much in volume? And where
Yeah.
are you guys doing business?
Oh my gosh. We are in 18 different states now.
Wow.
There's 56 of us, all women. We are in 18 different states. We started our nationwide expansion about a year and a half ago. Last year, we helped 363 families. We're on pace to exceed that this year. In fact, we're on our countdown to 2 billion in
Wow.
sales volume sold. So we're excited about that. Yeah, my team is my family, and it's the team started 10 and a half years ago. Just like anything else, right? Our team looks different now than it did when we started 10 and a half years ago. And
Yep.
and it should. Our businesses have evolved. I'm a different person. Our lives are different. And it's amazing to be able to work alongside these other women. Our commonality with our team is very different. Our commonality is we all want to do right by our clients. We're driven, we're focused, we have a lot of irons in the fire, and we want to do a good job for our clients to generate more business and to have more referrals that come in. And that's kind of it's been a beautiful thing having agents from all over, because if you look at our team chat line, you've got Sarah in Virginia has this and such problem. And then Abby from Delaware chimes in and says, well, this is how we would do it here. And then Melanie in Texas says, well, this is how we would do it here. And so it opens your mind. Like, you're getting different perspectives. and maybe their laws are different and their contract is different, but the perspective that it gives you is wider and broader, and that makes all of us better.
That communication between everyone across the country, did you end up setting up a Facebook group internally on this? Is that done through a massive text chain? How do you guys all communicate?
Yeah, we use something called GroupMe.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
basically a text app, right?
Yep. That's what we
And so
use. So
that
my
works.
friends. Yeah.
Do you? Yeah. So we
Yeah.
so we actually had that even before our team got this big. We started using GroupMe when there were maybe only like 10 of us, and we had that lone person that was the Android person,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that killed the text thread,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
so
Exactly. Yeah,
so
we get that.
we had to find a solution, and it was GroupMe. And so of course it's been great now, because as we've grown, there's no limits. We do have a Facebook group for our team that's private, but that's really just for sharing like buyer needs and listings so that we
Yeah.
can promote each other's stuff. But it's the chat line.
Love it. Love it. We have a little segment here. It's called rapid fire questions. So I'm going to throw them
Okay.
out to you here. If you weren't in real estate, what would you be doing?
I'd be an author, or I'd be an EMT. I was an EMT for 10 years and I loved it.
Awesome. What is the craziest EMT story that you've ever experienced?
Oh my gosh. Well, I delivered a baby
Well,
once.
yeah. Yeah, that'd be it.
There's been a lot of them. A lot of the stories, of course, aren't positive stories. A lot of the stories you see, it's fascinating, and it's such a parallel to real estate, because you get to really see what happens in people's houses, right? Like,
Yeah.
so it's a different perspective. But yeah, I delivered a baby once, and that was pretty special.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Favorite mantra or quote you tell your team?
Consistency. Consistency is key. I say the word consistency probably 10 times a week.
Is there a staging tip you swear by?
Not really. No.
What's one thing women in real estate don't hear enough?
That they can be both a driven, successful businesswoman and a present, engaged mom.
Was there a time there, and was that part of your motivation where you're going to kids stuff nonstop, but you couldn't, you have nonstop showings? I mean, is that part of the
Yeah.
motivation looking back?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, I had I learned really quickly that I needed to put rule. I'm a big boundaries person, right? And I needed to put some rules in place for myself. And so, as my kids, I was a very boring person when I was active in my sales career, because you can't do everything. Like, I was either with my family, my husband and my kids, or I was working, and I didn't really have time for much else. And I don't regret that, because I've been able to do some really good things. But when my kids were babies, my husband is a firefighter, so there were many years of my career where he was on shift work, so it was very challenging. And so when my kids were babies, I would not miss, that bedtime bath time routine.
Yeah.
That's like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
right, that's like the sweet thing when they're little. And I say all of this now. They're 21, 19, and 16, so they're,
Yeah.
but I would not miss that more than two nights in a row, right? That was like one of my personal
Yeah.
rules. And so if somebody needed to schedule an appointment, I'd say, you know what, I already have an appointment tonight. They didn't need to know that my appointment
Sure.
was, tub time
Agreed.
and watching
Agreed.
Elmo,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And then as my kids got a little older, it was family dinner. Dinner around the table every evening was really important, and I would not miss that more than two nights. And then when my kids got even older, and then they were active in sports, like, man, that's a killer, right? You're running kids all over the place, and I wasn't going to miss their games for work.
Yeah.
And so, I might be showing property in the morning, and then I'd be at the baseball field for 2 hours, and then I'd be running to a listing appointment right after. But I had to sacrifice a lot of other things for myself. I sacrificed girlfriend relationships. I
Right.
sacrificed hot personal hobbies. I sacrificed a lot of things so that I could do those things, because that was important to me then. And now I get to do different things.
The one thing that sticks out with you is you're a doer. It's just you just do it. You don't overthink it. I think that's the key to most of this stuff, isn't it? It's like, you know what? I want to do it. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to consistently do it until it happens. That sound right?
Yeah. And it's something that one of our team members said to me recently, and she said that continuous improvement is our superpower.
Right.
And I just love that so much, because I do overthink things. I have times where I am just, yesterday was not a great day, and I was just kind of sitting in the stew of, I don't know, I want to burn it all down. I mean, right, we all have those
Yeah.
days.
Sure. Of course.
And But the thing that I have learned is that the power of just taking a step
Yep.
and then just improving it a little bit and then taking another step, right? And that's going to take you further. We're never going to figure it out, whether you're talking about business or parenting or your golf game. Like,
Yeah.
you're never going to make the conditions so perfect that tomorrow you're going to launch whatever and the it's going to be perfect. Like, why is Apple on, like, what is the iPhone now, like 18 or
Yeah.
something?
Right.
It's
Exactly.
it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So it just takes a little bit of courage to, like, continuous improvement.
Love it. What's your golf handicap?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I
Okay.
so my here's how I am as a golfer. I
Yeah.
I started playing golf when I was a kid. My dad was an avid golfer. I would always be on the golf course with him. As I got to be a teenager, I would play in tournaments with him.
Yep.
Um, when I play, I get bored.
Yeah.
And so I will, or frustrated. So I will play a couple of holes, and then I say to my husband, I'm just going to ride for a little bit, and I'll just ride
Yeah.
in the cart for a couple of holes. And then so I'm
Yeah.
not good by any stretch of
Yeah.
the imagination, but, and in fact, I just got back to it. Like, after my dad died, I stopped playing, for a while. He and I used to play on Fridays. We did
Gotcha.
that for a long time. And so after he got sick, he stopped playing. And so I actually literally just picked up clubs this summer for the first time in like 10 years.
Yeah, no, I think I've been playing for like 20 years. It's the most
Oh, wow.
painful, angry, sport that I can't give up. But yeah,
Yes.
it's a challenge. I've been known to have swing change after swing change. Nothing ever gets good, but I just continue to cause pain and suffering to myself. So anyway,
It is the most frustrating, fun that you will ever have in an afternoon.
exactly. If people want to find your group on Facebook, what's the name of it?
Yeah. It's Empowering Women in Real Estate. Yep. Come find us on Facebook or just go to our website, empoweringwomeninrealestate.com. There we have all the things linked. My podcast is linked. Our coaching programs are linked. You can find everything there.
I've really enjoyed the time. Thank you so much for coming on. It's great that we finally got to chat in person and look
Yes.
forward to staying in touch.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.